What is happening, our people? What's going on? What's a good word? What have you heard? Like somebody, and we'll get into that tomorrow night. Like a friend of mine in the street used to say, every time I saw him, he used to say, "What's good?" or "What do you hear? What do you say?" The same old shit. But he always started off with, "What's good, pal? What's good, pal?" And he would usually end it with, "He'd cut you off in a nice way. Terrific, terrific, terrific." So, without further ado, I heard this was a phenomenal fight. I want to thank everybody for being here. Our fight fans: Francis, Timmy Irish on the set, Davey T, Benny, Matty Boy, Cinnamon Girl. What's happening? The Heartbeat. And I'm sure there'll be others popping in. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Um, I've been getting so many beautiful comments about where the show people feel it's headed, um, and that's a great thing. But I know you didn't come here tonight to hear me BS. You got plenty of that tomorrow night in here. Some stuff people been asking for more about uh, things I was around. But for now, I wanted to pay a little homage to our friend that's going to be on what is known as the fight desk with me. Um, and his name is Mr. Timmy Irish. But this is, I'm going to take my. Timmy is going to be to the right. In the middle is a great fighter named Mustafa Hamsho, a great fighter, a legend. Let's get to it. Tim, I wanted to bring you in, buddy. I wanted to pay a little homage to you, my friend. Well deserved. And I hear we got a good fight tonight. This is one of the few, I told you before, I didn't see. So I'm seeing it for the first time. I'm looking forward to it. Can you hear me, brother?
I'm hearing you echo, repeating.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
All
yes,
right, are we better now?
yes,
Talk to me.
yes.
Can you
I
hear
can.
me?
Yes, yes.
All right, here we go.
How
Let's
are
get
you,
to
Frank?
it.
Yes. How are you? How you
I'm
doing,
good,
Frank?
buddy. It's good to see you. You want to talk a little bit about this fight before we get started? Without giving up too much. Like I said, I never saw it, so I'm looking forward to it.
Frank, the broadcast keeps repeating itself. I
It's
hear you,
echoing.
and
Hold
then
on,
when
let me
you
see.
talk, it says it again.
Hold on. You got it, brother. Mic check. I'm gonna.
Can you hear me?
All right, how are we now?
Go ahead, say something.
Timmy, Timmy, Timmy.
It did the same thing again.
And I got the echo cancellation. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna talk. Craig, I'm good. All right, so I'm gonna shut up and let Timmy do all the talking.
This is going to be a good fight. This is two guys that really strong inside fighters, and it's going to be really exciting. I don't think there'll be a dull moment the whole way.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me? I'm losing sound.
Yeah, you're much better now.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a really exciting fight. I mean, from beginning to end. This was the fight of the year. This is two warriors. I can't hear you at all. I can't hear you.
All right, how about now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
All right, we're good. We're good. Here we go. I think we're good. Let's get rolling. You saying this is fighting the year 2005? Let's do it.
Their story is part of a bigger mosaic.
I'm trying to keep their sound off a little bit. I'll raise it a hair
It seems
because I want people to be able to hear you.
or title fight in the junior lightweight or lightweight divisions, you'll find the presence of trainer Joe Goosen. You had Castillo, who fought Freitas. You've had Corrales, who fought Castillo.
All right, let's get ready to rock and roll. Davey, you're saying I still have no sound.
You're kind of this central character.
I can hear you.
All right, you can hear me. I want to make sure everybody out there got me, and we're ready to go here.
Dealing with this type of talent that you're facing and working with.
Goosen's current partner in this lightweight drama is the unassuming Diego Chico Corrales, a curious compliment to the color.
Cinnamon Girl, how are you?
He is Hollywood. You know, he's
Okay, Davey, thank you. Always good to see everybody here. Our loyal fight fans.
That is
We should have people coming in a little late here.
And they spend all the time concentrating on Joe.
Want to make sure this is we're not skipping here.
This soap opera began with Goosen in the corner of undefeated
All right, here we go.
Castillo, losing a bitter decision to Acelino Freitas. Surprisingly, Goosen.
I'm going to fast forward this. I don't want people to watch highlight reels.
Courageous Corrales on cuts.
That's left is for Castillo to win. And despite the brevity between fights,
Here we go. Let's go.
We talk about the
Let's get it on.
obviously of Corrales, but he's
Timmy, it's
As a YouTuber, vidIQ is one of the most powerful tools that I use. I spend a lot of time shooting and editing, so I want to make sure that each video I make is.
Do you like having a P.O. box but are tired of wasting time and money driving to the post office?
I think somebody asked for Tyson Buster Douglas, but it might have been Duran Leonard he wanted to see. So I'm waiting to see if Benny doesn't jump in here and tell me what it is that fight he wants to see. We're gonna go with Bucky's Witherspoon Holmes. If Joe Town's been asking for Joe Town says Don King got that hair by mixing Rogaine and Viagra. Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right, Joe Town. So you know, I want to try to give everybody, Timmy, like we talked about, give everybody a chance to pick a fight that they want to see. Maybe they saw, maybe they want to go back and take a peek at again. Benny,
We gotta say at the end of that fight, rest in peace to Diego Corrales. He was a great champion. He died 29 years old, and tragedy. Last week, we were talking about fighters from different eras, but I don't compare fighters from different eras. But what I do look for is fighters that could fight in any era. And in my opinion, Corrales was one of those fighters. He could fight in any era. He was that good.
I didn't, again, I like I said in 05, what the hell was I doing? I didn't know he passed away either. That's news to me as well. It's 29 years old.
Yeah.
What do you get? How do you I mean, he's gone. He's gone. Bucky said motorcycle crash.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Sal Sanchez. This guy belongs. I think he had like 56, 57 victories. And just in my opinion, I think like Sal Sanchez, this guy will, he could do it in any era against anybody. He was that good, that tough. You saw him get knocked down, tremendous recuperative powers,
Absolutely. If I don't, Benny, maybe Benny had a run, but I'll tell you what, Bucky, you got it. Next Monday night, we'll go with Holmes Witherspoon. That sound good to everybody? Holmes Witherspoon next Monday night.
I like that. That's a good fight.
If you like that, just give me a thumbs up in the chat. You could always, send me comments. I want to try to, we have certain people always come into the fights. Believe me, I'm still working on a way to get the MMA on. I don't know if anybody out there follows, it's kind of sad in a way because they're missing out. MMA fans are really missing out on another promotion that I'm not here to disagree with anybody, but it's a great promotion, and that's ONE Championship. They're based out of Singapore, and they came here once last year, and they have some guys. I'm telling you, I will put up against any one of Dana's guys at any division, and I would not be shocked if there was a 10-card fight if they came out on top. And so I'm trying to figure out a way. Maybe they don't have the same. There's only one way to find out, Timmy.
Yeah.
You know me. There's only one way to find out. Maybe we'll try to go with some MMA next week. I'll try ONE. We were going to try to do a grappling tournament. UFC has the rights to that.
Yeah.
Because we really want to do it from an angle like you're explaining some things where the MMA could be explained in full detail for somebody that might want to know, like, why is this move working? How do you get it? What's it called? Why pressure's applied a certain way, why it transitions into something else, just really from the scientific side of it. I would not be the guy to tell you about that. And that's it. But no, this was a classic. I feel, I hate when these fights are over. So I watch the numbers, and that once I start seeing people bail out, then I'll say goodnight. But I could sit here all night, ask you guys. We could talk anything, we can talk whatever you just want to talk. Nobody's ever told me in the chat who was your favorite fighter. I'd like to know who some of the people out there their favorite fighter was. Joetown Jack, something tells me. I know you're an old school boxing fan. I know that. But something tells me, I'm telling you, I was that way. And yes, I got invested because one of my sons, but I'm telling you, you will learn to appreciate this freaking thing. I'm telling you, it is not just a ballroom brawl. There's a lot of science going on with it. It is a chess match. It is a freaking chess match, the same way boxing is a chess match, except you got 10 weapons coming at you. It's a real chess match. Believe me. And I was the first one to see, a lot of times these guys end up in slugfests. Yeah, they do. I know that. I knew it, Joetown. I know you. I remember you telling me you were a novice with boxing too, and I knew that was not accurate. But I hope everybody enjoys this. If honestly, we get enough people, we're not going to. This is something we're going to always do. And in time, we'll have guys on here to call fights with me and Timmy, whoever they might be. You guys know I don't like to say things unless I know what day they're coming on. But believe me, we got. You don't have to believe me, but we have some things in the works to try to get the boxing shows. If that means having a fighter sit up here and call the fight with us. Dave T. Vinny Paz was his guy. Bucky says Joe Frazier. I grew up a huge Frazier fan because of my father. Like you. I think Joetown Jack would tell us, Darpa, what's up, brother? Darpa, I know you love MMA. We're trying hard to get it on, man. And do it. Timmy, who was your favorite fighter? I know you had fun. I was a Tommy Hearns guy.
I have a couple of them, but Jack Dempsey's my favorite fighter.
Okay. All right.
I love as heavyweight champion Joe Louis.
My father loved Joe Louis.
Nobody, Klitschko eclipsed him with all those fights he had, but at the time, nobody held the title longer than Louis, and nobody had more title defenses. He had 25 title defenses. So Louis was great champion. And then, I love Marciano. And guys older than that, I liked Hank Armstrong. Hank Armstrong is the first guy to hold 3 titles in 3 different weight divisions at the same time.
That's pretty insane. I'm reading one of the Joetown, not Joetown. Bucky, that Duran. My father was a Duran fan. There were certain fighters he liked, so we really didn't have a choice. We were Yankee fans, and whoever boxes he liked, that's who we rooted for. That was it. So Joe Frazier, Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler, and then I became a huge, for whatever reason, Tommy Hearns fan. Huge, love Tommy Hearns. I just did. So I was not in my home. Muhammad Ali was not. He wasn't. Nobody was a fan of his in this house. Now, that's not to say he wasn't the greatest. So he was all of that, and maybe that's what made me want to see him get his freaking head kicked in. But I will tell you this: I'll never forget always rooting against Ali from what I was able to see of him. You got to remember, 1977. I'm 10, so he was kind of coming to the end. He went into the 80s, but it bothered me to see him take that beating from Larry Holmes, Muhammad Ali. Was it Holmes that gave him the beating?
Yes.
And as much as I despised, I didn't like him, it really bothered me to watch that.
Well, Holmes tried to have the fight stopped a couple times, but Ali would pick his defense, both his hands up, and he waved them in. He kept waving them in. So, he has a lot of pride. He doesn't want to go out like that. When you're a great champion, I mean, nobody wants to get knocked out, but in a fight like that where you're losing bad, you at least want to go out standing up, No,
and Joe Town's right here. Ali was controversial when it wasn't popular to be controversial. And you know what? From that standpoint, I respect it because.
Well, not going into the military is a little more than controversial, I think. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say that I'm not afraid to say what's on my mind. So maybe that's controversial, So how I know that's different. I get it. But we weren't Ali fans, and we weren't Sugar Ray Leonard fans, and those were some of the greats. We weren't Floyd Mayweather fans, So maybe it was we just hated guys that beat everybody ridiculously all the time. I don't know. I thought Leonard was great, but I thought when it came to Hagler, Tommy Hearns the second time, I thought he picked his spots. I thought he waited for Hagler to have wars before he fought him. He did beat him. We saw that. We did it.
Hagler went in the tank.
Right. And he waited 8 years later to fight Hearns the second time. Yeah. I went back and looked at the numbers. And I don't know. Now, does that make Leonard a genius? Yeah. I guess. But Tommy went on and had a great career.
Who would you like in a fight between lightweight championship between Julio Cesar Chavez and Roberto Duran?
Wow. I'm going to go with my brain here and not my heart, right? I would say Chavez. This might be controversial to some, but that's what we are. Reality. That's right. I believe in their primes, and you could boo me all you want.
Right.
Because I'm going to say something else that's going to piss off the Tyson crew. Joe Town knows what I'm going to say. I believe in their primes. Chavez beats Duran.
100%. I agree with you. 100%.
Oh, look, Bucky, you're ready. I'm getting it already. Buck, I love you, bud. But you gotta give me that's just how I feel. If I see you quit once, that's all I need to see. I don't care how great you are. And he was great, no doubt. Roberto Duran, the legend. One of the greatest. my wife has told me 100 times how to say it in Spanish, but I won't try. Little hands of stone, no doubt. I grew up in the Duran house. I wasn't, a big Julio Cesar Chavez fan. What he showed me over 80 something fights. I mean, the guy had almost 100 fights.
Yes.
I never seen him quit. He had wars.
No.
So I don't know.
Well, that's one thing that will always follow Duran. But the other thing is that fight for the 154-pound championship against Davey Moore, where he ruined the young fighter. He fouled him. He thumbed him. I mean, he did every dirty thing in the book.
That's the fight Benny's been asking for. All right. Duran Leonard, I guess he's saying 2, because I know he don't want to see the No Mas one, right? Or is it the Duran Leonard 1? Oh, it's the first one.
Yeah, he wants to see the first one.
When he made him quit, right? So
that's another guy, just like when Hagler fought him. When he went and fought Duran, he changed completely the way he fights, and he started exchanging with him right off the bat. And that's another thing. That's why I said that thing he did in Montreal. I didn't understand that.
I tell you, Bucky, I like that, Bucky. Bucky says Duran didn't quit at 135. He quit at 147. He got way too fat in between fights and couldn't take the body shots from Leonard. Now,
what's the difference? What's the difference?
All right, I love this shit. Let's get it. Mills Lane, let's get it on. God, I love it. Let's get it on, man. Let it out. Get it off your chest. That's what we do. Bucky, what is the difference? Timmy says. Because some would say, well, then don't go to 147, you fat bastard. Or maybe he just took Leonard light. I don't know. We got to go back and watch it.
That's ridiculous. He was a 135-pound fighter.
All right,
everybody's 12 more pounds.
Everybody's screaming for Duran Leonard, so we're gonna have to. Bucky, you asked for Witherspoon and Holmes, right? So how about we do Duran Leonard next week, number 1? This way you don't have to watch. You and Benny don't have to cry and watch your boy quit. And I was a Duran fan, guys. Trust me, I was. Anybody to beat Leonard was good for me.
You know what the crazy thing about that first fight is?
Duran Leonard. Go ahead.
In that first fight, he was trading punches with him the whole fight, which he didn't box him at all, but he almost won that fight.
Absolutely. I remember.
I saw it in the Kingsbridge theater with my dad on Jerome Avenue, and I told my brother and my father at the end of the 14th round, I said, "Let's get up and let's go by the doorway." My father said, "Oh, I want to see the end of it." I said, "You're going to see the end of it from the doorway." Yep. He said, "Why?" I said, "Because when they announce the decision, either way, this thing's going to pop off in here, and we're stepping out onto Kingsbridge Road." Yep. And sure enough, that's what happened.
Wow, Kingsbridge Road, that's crazy. That just made me think of something, but forget that. I'll leave that for tomorrow night. My father, I'll never forget Duran Leonard 1. I don't know if somebody could tell me what year is that, because I was kind of young.
Duran Leonard 1.
If anybody could pull up Duran Leonard 1, the brawl in Montreal, like Cinnamon Girl said. The brawl, Cinnamon Girl is good, man. The brawl in Montreal. I'm going to guess that's what? Is it 80?
82, 81?
For whatever reason, I'm not going to say I wasn't a baby. My family member, 1980. Okay, so I'm going to take my family member at his word. 1980. So that puts me at about 13. I remember my father and a couple of his friends going to the movie theater down the block from where we are. We're in Queens.
Yeah.
UA Quartet in Flushing.
Right.
It was a movie theater. And him coming back, Duran, he was a Duran guy. And I remember watching, I don't remember back then how long we had to wait for the replay. Thank you, Cinnamon Girl, per Alexa. Now that, they know everything else about us. That's the least they could do is tell us when the fight is. Don't get me started. Anyway, I remember my dad coming back all pumped up. So you guys wonder where I get. I was Joe Town was there. Somebody said even at 2 o'clock in the morning the guy's hyper. I don't know, man. Maybe I gotta calm down. I would maybe talk lower. I don't know. I don't know why I set off this aura of being hyper. No, I'm just, boy, you would not. I tell you, if you think I'm hyper on the football field, I was real hyper. But it brings me something that it's not boxing, but you'll boxing enthusiasts, boxing people that have trained will understand this. A great NFL coach who I didn't, again, I'll say it, I wasn't a Cowboy fan, so I wasn't a great fan of his, but later really appreciated him as a coach. And that was Jimmy Johnson. I'm a Steeler fan. You hate Cowboys. Jimmy Johnson used to say, Jimmy Johnson was a great talent evaluator. He wasn't per se an X's and O's guy. He saw talent. He knew talent. But Jimmy Johnson used to feel like, and he would say it, kind of like Tortorella is in hockey, Parcells was. They're going to have their teams be in the best shape and outwork you in the fourth quarter when you're dead tired and run the ball down your throat. And the reason for that was, he said, because even when a man doesn't want to quit, fatigue will make you quit. He's seen the toughest guys quit to fatigue just because they can't go no more. And boxing is different. I get it, with impact, the blows, there's a lot involved. But fatigue can make you say things to yourself, you know what, I'll get him next time. You know, you start telling yourself it's okay to quit. You know, it's okay. You know what, I'll come back another day. You start to, you know, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know.
Vince Lombardi said fatigue makes cowards of us all.
Well, in a lot of ways, you know, how many times, you know, we're just having fun here, bullshitting, but how many times, like as kids, you know, you get into a scrap, and just before you get into a scrap and you got to defend yourself, you get that adrenaline. Some say, well, it's a little bit of a nervousness, but it's that adrenaline that kept you going. And if you yap too much and not just throw your hands and defend yourself, well, you find yourself tired quick. Your legs go, even in a quick street scrap. So forget about going 10 rounds in a ring, because you know, just getting in a street scrap, you know, you think it lasts forever. The shit only lasts 40 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, you know, and you think, oh, you know, in your head, this shit lasted an hour, and you're exhausted and you're in good shape. You got to take your hat off to these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, being around the gym, you know, whether it was my son Antonio messing with the fight game a little bit, putting in work down at Gleason's, and just seeing the work that goes into it, the other guy at the MMA, and really be around it. The wars that go on in the gym, man, the fight is nothing.
Yes.
The shit that goes on every day in the gym is nothing. Joe Town, thank you for understanding the adrenaline, right? I guess that's where that's saying, you know, got to get your second win, your third win, your fourth win. But so many guys, you know, they get a bad adrenaline dump before the fight even starts. MMA, boxing, whatever. You get to the ring and you have no legs. And I could equate that to football. Ref blows the whistle. You're ready for opening kickoff. You're on the kickoff team, and all of a sudden, your legs are weak. Big game, and you don't know what just happened to your legs because you've been just screaming for 40 minutes with your teammates getting pumped up, hyped up, and you just blew yourself out. And now the game didn't even start yet, and you're begging for that second win to kick in because you got no legs. And I know it's different, but it's that same adrenaline dump. You got to be able to control it. I don't know. That's just my take on it. What do I know? I'm just sharing a little bit on being controlled, I guess. What do you think, Tim?
Well, when I used to play sports, when I was an athlete, I used to get tired real fast. And then after a few minutes, I'd get my second win and I'd be good, for the rest of the day. But everybody's different,
Well, I keep it 100 all the way. I'll tell you this, Benny, if anybody's still out there, I keep it real, 100%. So I used to play a lot of, as I got older, I used to play. That's also my family members. Thank you for sharing that with Salvador Sanchez. I don't want to take away from the boxing show and get into different sports and stuff, but I want to share something. Firsthand knowledge. I used to play a lot of, as an adult, softball. And it became obsessive, crazy. Then I would turn into 6 games a week, 12 games a week. Then before you know it, you're going away every weekend. And now you're traveling. I got somebody in here that knows this. I would travel all over playing softball on tournament teams, whatever. Well, I noticed when we got down south, when we put these monster squads, we took the best of Long Island, Queens, the boroughs, and we put these monster teams together. Well, when you get down south, everybody looks like the band ZZ Top. They're all 400 pounds. They all hit the ball a mile. So, being a gap hitter wasn't going to covet. So, what do? Well, you do it every, I don't want to say every, I don't want to pay it with a broad brush, but I understood the difference between not being on a cycle of steroids and playing, and then going on a cycle of performance-enhancing drugs and seeing what that would do after 8 weeks. And I could tell you the difference. The difference was after 6 games, I could play another 6. The difference was, say I could hit a ball 330, I can now hit a ball for at least 75 feet more. It doesn't do nothing for, look, I'm not going to bat for guys. Look, it's something, I did when I was younger. I needed to do it. I wanted to do it. I'll make that clear. I wanted to do it. Nobody was forcing me to do it. I wasn't a big gym rat, but I'll tell you what it did. It gave me the hunger to stay in the gym. Now, all of a sudden, I became that gym rat. And you could work out 2-3 times a day, never get sore. You know that after you have a hard workout, you're sore as hell. You can't even move your arms. That shit, you don't have none of that. So it just lets you to keep working more, lets you to keep working and working. So you're running as hard in game 10 in the tournament as you were in game 2. And you're still hungry and you're still. So I don't know about the hand-eye coordination thing. I don't know about if it helped the bat speed, but it did give you the drive to keep going no matter how many games in you are. For sure. And listen, I mean, there's just something, I know it has nothing to do with boxing, but, let's be real about what goes on in the real world. I think, of all sports in general, and I'm a fan of all of them, they're all tainted. They pick and choose who gets tested, who gets caught. But that's for another day. Come on, you're going to tell me NFL guys? I don't know what the number is, but come on. We could go to boxing, we go to MMA, we go to any sport. Guys are still juicing. You're going to tell me nobody in baseball is juicing anymore? Come on, stop. They're just. Listen, people come to the park to see people hit 500-foot home runs. That's what they wanted to see. They don't want to go to a game like some great baseball enthusiasts like to see that 1-0 game, 12 strikeouts, 14 strikeouts. People love to see home runs. They love to see that Bugs Bunny cartoon shit, 15-14. Jose Canseco hitting them over the stadium. You know what I mean? Mark McGwire. Baseball was never more exciting when McGwire and Sosa were fucking hitting crazy shots. I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying it was an exciting time to watch the game. Now you got pitch clocks, this, that. I don't know. I'm not saying guys should go out and start banging needles. No, I'm just saying baseball that at that time was an exciting time to watch baseball. If you like to watch hitting and crazy home runs, it was an exciting time. That's all. You want to add to that, Tim?
Well, I don't really know anything about steroids, but cracked me up. I don't know, a few months back,
Yeah.
some golfers tested positive for steroids.
You don't think they're adding nothing to their drive? Of course they are.
Well, you just explained it. I don't know much about it. When steroids first came around, I think bodybuilders in the gym were using it, and then I heard football players used it. A lot of guys.
Wow.
But remember Tony Mandrich?
Absolutely, of course.
Yeah, and he had a scandal, and then he got off it, and then I think he was with the Colts. It took him a couple of years, but then he come back with Green Bay.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
finished out okay. But what a lot of people don't know about Mandarich is he also developed a horrific heroin addiction.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know
Yeah,
about
he
the
developed a
narcotics.
horrible heroin addiction.
Wow.
And Joe Town Jack, a friend of mine, batted 600 in the Pan Am games, and it took him 3 hours to be able to piss for a test. He was clear and
Craig, look how big the linebacker was, Bosworth. And then Bo Jackson, he mowed him down on Monday Night Football, I think it was.
Yeah. I just had a conversation with somebody about that. Chris
And that
Gorky,
shot, that was the end of Bosworth after that play.
Chris Gorky, that's a great one. Lyle Alzado lost his life to steroid abuse.
Yes, sad. He was a Long Island guy, right, Alzado?
Yeah, I think Brooklyn. You might be right. Long Island. I know
Brooklyn,
he was
maybe Brooklyn, Long Island.
city guy. Definitely New York. I know that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where. I thought Brooklyn, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure. He was a Raider. That's all I know. He belonged on the Raiders.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Bucky makes a great point. Steroids broke Tiger Woods' body down.
Really?
It's Brian Cushing, great one. I'll tell you a story about Brian Cushing.
Oh, I know. Play for the Texans.
Right. I'm going to tell you, you know what? Because he brought it up, I'll tell you a quick story about Brian Cushing. If I got a friend of mine, Ray Dominguez, out there listening, Brian Cushing, I think, played, Chris Gorky, you know it, I think he played for Bergen Catholic in Jersey. And my friend's son played at, not St. Joe's Regional, he played for one of them other Jersey schools. And he missed. His son didn't play against Cushing, but he used to hear the parents. He was like 2 years younger, so he didn't have to go up against Cushing. Cushing was so juiced in high school. Yes, he played for Bergen Catholic. Cushing was so juiced in high school that he would break helmets on the other team, and parents were saying, this kid's a mutant. What I mean, he's going to kill one of these kids out here. It was such a undertone of him going into college and then going on to USC and dominating. And then eventually in the NFL, he got popped a couple times, but his body broke down.
Yeah.
And that leads me to somebody saying Tiger Woods' body broke down. Eventually, the body breaks down over the years of abuse. And one of my other guys were here, you break down the science of it. I don't want to start naming players and saying, look at how their bodies broke down, because I don't want to paint with a broad brush, whatever it is. I was just trying to share, being transparent about that 8-week period, what it did to my softball game. I just would keep going. Fucking animal. I mean, crazy.
Don't they say it makes you heal faster?
Well, that was another thing. I had I don't want to say a torn ACL, but it was bad. Run like the wind. No pain at all. No pain at all. No pain at all.
That's dangerous.
Look, you got to ask yourself something. Not steroids, HGH, testosterone. Why do the wealthy? I don't want to get into this. This isn't what this is about, but Why is it, some of these 70-year-old Hollywood stars look a certain way?
Right.
Because they're able to get their hands on things that the average person can't, and they're not steroids.
Right.
Okay? Because there's a difference between steroids and HGH.
Right.
I wouldn't even know where to get HGH. I know nothing about it. I just, from research from one of my sons telling me the difference. Same thing with TRT, testosterone replacement. You have young 20-year-olds that are doing it to get an advantage. There's nothing wrong with that testosterone. It's meant for middle-aged guys. You know what I mean? If anything. Why do they look, they're in the gym 8 hours a day. They're healthy. They look fucking young. They look great. Ain't nothing wrong with them. They're not dying. Why is it that you got to go to Germany? Our athletes can't get certain procedures here. You tell me, why does an ACL injury take 9 months still? It used to be a year and a half. Why does a complete ACL take anywhere from 8 to 10 months before you're back on the field? Sometimes, mostly more. But you take European soccer, these guys are back playing in 5 months because they're allowed to do stem cell and different things like that. I'm not advocating, I'm not with it or against it. I'm just saying these other things that go on in Europe that we're not allowed, they don't allow the athletes to do here. It speeds up that recovery in no time. And, you're cutting it in half. And I'm not a doctor. I don't want to be one. But I already went on my rant for the day. Maybe we'll make that a segment, rant for the day. I don't know, Tim. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Well, guys, I hope I didn't go on too much of a rant. Lance Armstrong, Gorky, we got film to break down. You should be on studying film, Gorky. We got edge guys we got to do this week. Lance Armstrong, another. How many Tour de France's did that guy win before he came clean?
I think 5, something like that. 5.
Insane. Well, I kept everybody late enough, long enough. We'll do Duran, Leonard next Monday. Tomorrow night we have. I'm going to talk about my time in the life in the street. Some people have asked me to shed some things about my time. I'm going to do that. I owe it to our loyal community. So always know it's 100. And that's how we're going to always keep it, no matter what we do. And Thursday, we got an interview. Wednesday, we probably do our draft show. And then we got Jimmy on Friday. So we would probably rolling all week. Love you guys. Be well. Timmy, thank you so much. I want to see that. I'm going to take you down just so I can let everybody see what you look like again here with Mustafa Ham Show. All right, brother?
Thank you, Craig.
And I'm
Thank
sure
you
I'll
very
talk to you
much.
tomorrow. I just want to say good night, everybody. Now you can look at